This is Providence Television International, the game changer.
Welcome to the program, Issues in the News. My name is Ugbebo Ikekwa. Today, we'll be having quite a topical issue. There is, like my boss would always say, a new sheriff in town. There is a new commissioner of police in town, and with me to discuss this same issue is Dr. Emmanuel Egariba. You're welcome to the studio.
Yes, nice to have you with us. Nice to have our viewers with us at home and abroad. Yes, a new sheriff in town, and she's a history maker, really. The new commissioner of police, dating back to the old Bender state, this is the first female commissioner we're having. So in some sense, she's also a game changer, I should think. Yes.
And talking about the game changer, no other station, because we have actually monitored, has come up with this kind of discourse that we are about to have. We'll be dissecting. There was actually a speech that she had, her first speech. Well, we'll come to that. We'll be the first station to actually talk about the expectations of the people. And I will promise you this, you will not be disappointed. But I think it is worthy of note to remember that the Commissioner of Police, Edo State Command, Betty Enekben Timain, she resumed duty, in the state capital on the 27th of January 2025. And just like Dr. Egariba mentioned, she's the first female commissioner of police. There are quite expectations. But before we go into these expectations, she actually had her first speech. I think that was on the 28th of January. So we'll move straight to excerpts from that speech before we continue the program.
It's not stable, but now we are all comfortable. We are going to give you a time in this state that you will be happy with yourself. We are now saying that all the criminals in this state, we expect you to turn a new leaf. And if you cannot turn a new leaf, it will not be tea party as usual. You will need to relocate from the state, because the state will be made unbearable for every criminal element. We are saying that this state is going to be brought to a state of security. You are going to see a level of security that you will appreciate. There's going to be community policing. Everybody is involved in this policing. This is another phase of policing, where the community is encouraged, where the society is encouraged. Everybody is a player in this policing system. You are all invited to give information out, to participate, to see something and say something, to encourage your neighbors that when they see anything that is going on, that is not right, that is criminally done, inform the police. And if you inform the police, you feel you are not satisfied, there will be a further place you will go to. There will be a higher office that will attend to you. And all these numbers will be made known as we move on in the policing system of the state. Thank you. We look forward to working together.
Quite some issues raised there, and we'll be taking them point by point. My first question to you, sir. The new CP talked about the public collaborating with the police. We've always seen in the past where there has not been this synergy between the public, the residents, and the police. What do you think, and how do you think there's going to be a difference with this present CP's administration?
Well, first of all, I think I like her sense of commitment, confidence. She has used confidence and authority. That is important. And I think there's a need for us to build trust into the police, for instance. That's a key factor in all that she's coming here to do. But I like the sing song, really. See something, say something. In other words, the public has been challenged. When you see something, you must say something. Say something to who? Of course, to the police. The police are your friend. That's what she's saying, by the way. They are your friend. They want to collaborate with you. They want to encourage you so that life can be more meaningful, life can be safer. All right?
Yeah.
Now, In Edo State, we still need a lot of security. We need a lot of security because there have been issues of kidnapping, court clashes, armed robbery, and all of that. So, but we can pigeonhole all of this into one paradigm of security. And I think that the new Commissioner of Police, she's up to the task. You can see that from her demeanor. And I believe also that because of her pedigree, she's going to carry it through. She's been here, really. She's been here even when, I think she was an Assistant Commissioner of Police or CSP, I can't remember now, but she's been here in Edo State, in Benin City, for example. And she's a home girl, come to think of it, because she's from here. All right? So she knows that terrain very well. And I believe this is what the Police High Command should be doing. When you post a new Commissioner of Police here, it should be a Commissioner of Police who knows the environment, who knows the people, who knows the attitude. Because it's a different ball game. If you posted the new Commissioner of Police here, we would just be groping for the first 4 months. We will not know exactly what to do with the various segments of the society. But in our case, it's different.
Okay.
She's been here. And as a prominent daughter of the land, she knows that she has a huge duty up her shoulders. And I believe she can do it. I believe she can deliver. I've listened very carefully to many stakeholders, and they also believe that she has the capability. However, in talking about security, yes, there must be need for her to encourage even the police force itself, and by way of providing the essentials. For instance, operational vehicles. The police don't have enough. That I know very well. They need a lot of operational vehicles because, you see, when you don't have good and functional vehicles, how can you go after these misfits in the society? It is pretty difficult. Okay, there are so many things she has to do, so we'll continue from here, one after the other.
All right, talking about collaborating, that was the public collaborating with the police. I think there was a time that the police force, Edo State Command especially, came up with something that had to do with community. I think, is it the PCRC?
Yes, I was going to talk about that. In fact, incidentally, the Inspector General of Police mentioned, I think about a week or so ago, that the PCRC is an acronym for Police Community Relations Committee, which is recognized by law as a national body. It has a very huge presence in Edo State, for example. So they have to collaborate. And the IGP himself said that they have to be subsumed into the operations of the police at this local level. I know it's a national issue, but we're talking of Edo State. So the PCRC, as a friend, as a collaborator, must be encouraged in so many ways, so that there will be many more areas to cover. For example, I do know from my vantage position that the PCRC is doing a lot. I mean, particularly in the area of security, okay? And also in the area of traffic control. They are doing a lot in that sphere. But there is a lot more that can be done in between. And there should be the element of trust. I mean, obviously the PCRC is not going to take over the operations of the police. That's obvious. But they must see themselves as collaborators, as friends, as people who are working towards the same goal and aspiration. That's the whole essence of this collaboration. And I believe that this new Commissioner of Police will do just that. She will do justice to the needs of the people. All that the people want is that they should feel secured, okay? They should feel the presence of police virtually every day. Patrol should be stepped up in very many areas, not just in the night, also in the afternoon, because these boys, these terrible boys, they operate even in the daytime, okay? Now, they should have working tools, not just operational vehicles, walkie-talkies, for instance. They should have all of that. And the police should be well taken care of in terms of welfare, all right? Their kits should be in sync with international best practices. Their uniforms should be up to date. As you see some around who go about with rubber slippers and things like that, that's not good enough for the kind of police that we want. The new Commissioner of Police. But by the way, ladies have a way of doing things differently. And I can tell you that a lot of these vacuums will be covered very effectively. This gulf in between will be covered by this wonderful lady. And, of course, accommodation for the police. beautiful accommodation. There's no way you can compare. I mean, in terms of accommodation now, in terms of the maintenance of this accommodation, take the Navy, for instance, or even the Air Force. If you look at their structures, their accommodation, it goes far, far ahead of what we have in the police. So there must be a culture of maintenance. There must be a culture of being able to keep this accommodation in very good standards all the time. I'm not too happy about what I see in some of the barracks. Okay? So, but the Commissioner of Police should go around. I'm sure she's going to do that, all the divisions, all the area commands. She's obviously going to do that, to see things for herself, so that she can begin to pigeonhole some of these issues appropriately.
All right. During the speech, she actually emphasized that there will be zero tolerance for extortion in any form, harassment, and indiscriminate searching of individuals' phones.
That's important. In fact, it has come from the IG, Inspector General of Police. Okay? This has been an endemic problem. And I don't know how the police high command is going to do this, but it can start from somewhere, really. And what I think should happen is that, I mean, for instance, the new Commissioner of Police should, on a weekly basis, maybe fortnightly, that's my advice, to give situation report as to how they are coping with this. On a fairly regular basis, you can do that. We want a state. In the country, we're talking about the state of the nation. We can also have the state of the police. Yes, in Edo State, what has the police been doing? Maybe monthly, so that we don't overburden her with all these things. On a monthly basis, we should have a situation report. What the police has done, what it is hoping to do, and whether there are some areas to be covered. And by the way, there should also be a collaboration. Well, PCRC will come in here very strongly. There are many individuals in Edo State, and corporate bodies, by the way, who can also help to alleviate some of these problems by contributing to the coffers of the police. All right, they can do a lot by way of providing equipment, and things like that. So the new CP should not relent in her efforts to reach out. I think that's the key word here. She must reach out to various stakeholders, even the palace. The palace, for instance, and luckily she's from here, okay? So I'm sure she will get all the assistance she needs, even from the palace, all right? I'm very confident about that. From the organized private sector, okay? And also from fellow security agencies, the Army, the Air Force, and all of that. They should all collaborate to ensure that we have the best. I mean, come to think of it, I look forward to a time when states in the South, because Edo State is the South, will say, yes, we have the new Commissioner of Police who is giving all the headway. We're showing all the light among all the commands in the South region of Nigeria. That's my hope.
Okay, let me concentrate. Expectations now. Extortion. Zero tolerance for extortion in any form. We've always heard this clause, bail is free. Do you think that we're going to see a change in the principles of bail as it is now?
Yeah, it depends on the DPOs. Actually, there are 3 people, as I've been told, there are 3 people who hold key positions in the entire Nigeria Police that you cannot wish away. The DPO, the Commissioner of Police, and the Inspector General of Police. These are the 3 people who hold the strands. Now, the DPOs have a lot of duties in this direction. They can do well to tutor the officers and men under their authority. Okay? So I expect that the Commissioner of Police should hold the DPOs to ransom. If they are not doing the right thing. There should be no extortion, really, because that has given us a bad name. Even internationally. Can't you see the police in other parts of the world? Yes, they don't extort, They even ask you questions, very intelligent questions, even when you have the inclination to do certain awkward things. They put you on the spot. And I think that this has to do with training. I will plead with the Commissioner of Police to go into training and retraining of his officers on a fairly regular basis, because that's what they need primarily. All right? They need to be trained effectively in dealing with members of the public, because the police must be seen as a friend and not an enemy. Okay, so when you mention the police, the first thing that comes to mind is, oh no, am I going to get justice? Am I going to get fairness? But that can be washed away. I mean, obviously. It shouldn't be a situation where the complainant, you run to the police station, the complainant becomes the guilty. although it doesn't quite follow, the complainant can be the guilty, all right? But it should be that they should expect justice to be done and justice to be delivered, even at that level. And when you detain people for too long, it goes against the law, all right? You keep people in there for a long time when you should charge the thing to court. That's one thing that the police obviously should look at. This whole idea of searching, taking phones from people and all of that, the IG is very bitter about it, and it should stop. It should stop. The police, this is the third time I'm saying it, should be seen as your friend, okay? When I was growing up in this town, in those days, we would go to nightclubs and things like that. When we were coming back, the police people on duty will escort you to your house. Yes, without any string attached. You saw them as your friend. You know, you talk with them, you exchange banters and all sort of things. But these days, it is a different ball game altogether.
Right.
So I pray that the new commissioner, this should be one of the challenges that she has to face at the moment. And I pray that God will give her the strength and wisdom to be able to carry it through.
Okay, from the angle of you being a lawyer, normally, if you get to the police station, you have a right to a call, at least to be able to reach out to your lawyer or anybody. But then we'll find a situation where the first thing that happens when you get to a police station is that your phone is taken, first of all.
That's part
away.
of the thing, yes.
Yes,
That's part of the thing we are saying.
So you are not even denied your fundamental, yes.
And it's your right to be able to contact, first of all, it's your right to contact your lawyer, all right? But, I mean, obviously, once your phone is taken, you have lost communication altogether. But what I'm even saying is beyond that. I mean, you're locked up there, you know, for sometimes even for civil offenses, okay? And I believe that the police should carry out the operations in such a way that they can even be arbiters. You know, not every case should go to the courts anyway. There are some people out of ignorance. It's, rather than consult their lawyers, they go to the police station. All right, we see that very often. But the police should have, you know, a kind of system where they can come in between two factions or two people who are in conflict and to be able to settle them. This is part of the thing we are saying. They should be able to settle them amicably without resorting to going to court and things like that. Yes, I like the police to be encouraged to do all of these things. At the end of the day, the people will be happy, the police side will be happy. There should be no congestion. There's no reason why police stations should be congested. No reason whatsoever. We have a lot of congestions going on now. And I believe that some of those cases, the police will just stay on it and days and sometimes weeks, and the thing is not charged to court, and then you have this very terrible congestion, particularly for minor offenses. But for serious offenses, yes, why not? I mean, you charge them to court straight. I mean, there's no doubt about that. All I'm saying is that, look, we must have a situation where the police is seen as, not as an enemy, not as a foe, but as a collaborator, because they are there for you. The police are there for you. They're there to protect you, to keep you safe from bandits, to keep you safe from armed robbers, and to keep you safe from kidnappers. The CP is very well in tune with all of this. And the High Command in Edo State should give her all the assistance she needs. Okay, because I just hope that some of them will not say, oh no, this is a woman. They will perform their duties outside the norm, or just because she's of the female gender. No, that's not it. She's a highbrow professional, and they should respect her authority for that.
All right, this brings me down to my next question. I think this is in a bid to make the public understand that the police is actually your friend. She was at the NUJ, premises of the NUJ, some few days ago, and she dropped her personal number. She said if you call and she cannot pick, don't worry, leave a message.
Good.
And during that speech that we just heard, that we just heard from her, she said that all the numbers of DPOs will be given out so that you can easily reach them. How welcome do you think this development is?
Oh, it's a good development. In fact, the PCRC encouraged this quite tremendously. And I also believe that, it's a two-way traffic, actually.
Okay.
Two-way traffic in the sense that even the DPO himself should go out and reach out to stakeholders within an area of jurisdiction. And there are many stakeholders. I mean, take Benin City, for instance. you have many jurisdictions. Okay, we are very close to SCG division here, and I believe that once in a while the DPO should reach out to stakeholders within his jurisdiction so that they can exchange ideas. Ideas normally should come from a two-way mechanism, not just from one way, right? And I think that's what the CP is talking about. But not for trivialities, I must tell you that. She will expect calls based on sincerity of purpose, based on the fact that the caller is a serious-minded person, not for trivialities. No, I don't think anybody will accept that. But the same thing with the DPOs, yes. Their numbers should be well known. I would suggest that they are even displayed on billboards across certain areas within their jurisdiction. So when you go along, you can quickly copy them and call them, particularly during the times of distress.
Yes.
It could be in the afternoon, but it could more in the night, really. That's why I talked about operational vehicles. Because you see, if you don't have operational vehicles, how do you run after people who have negative tendencies? So you must be equipped. And I think that even the PCRC can help in this direction. Where the division has no vehicle, you can raise funds to assist. Okay? And that way, the burden on the police in terms of calls of duty will be reduced tremendously.
And so we're going to have your final take on this. When she talked about, for those criminals who are not ready to change, they should find their way peacefully out of Edo State. I think that should be your parting shot.
Yeah, that's the sign of an officer who knows what he or she is doing. They should relocate. But I don't even subscribe to that.
Okay.
Not just because if they relocate, you are going to create problems for the CP who is on the other end. They should think of way of eliminating themselves. Right? Okay. So it's not just to relocate. If you relocate, I mean, we have states who have common boundaries with us. If you go to Delta, you are going to create problems for them. So if you create problems in Delta, they go to Bayelsa. So it is up north. If you create problems here, you go to Kogi. Kogi will think of Kwara and also. So it becomes a spiral. But what I'm saying is that they should be kept in the cooler permanently. Yes. That's the first thing to do. Keep them so that they don't become problems for other commands. Okay? That's my take. And I believe that it is quite doable, very doable. What it also means is that these criminals should be hemmed in. Those in Delta cannot move into Edo. Those in Edo cannot move to Delta. So they are caught in the middle. And you know what that means.
Exactly.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much for contributing on the program. Thank you so much. It's been issues in the news. We would actually be talking about security matters, not just with this present CP. We'll concentrate, just like my boss actually said some few minutes ago, that on a monthly basis, not just from the CP, expectations, yes, the promises that she made, how well has she been able to keep those promises? And as the game changer, as our slogan happens to be, we'll keep you informed. Thanks for watching. Please stay tuned.